Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, and welcome to the EGU podcast, where you can learn all about mindset, energy, business, and abundance, plus all things spiritual from a variety of global experts. I am Michelle Reinhardt of $1 Million Mindset and founder of Entrepreneurs Globally Unite, delivering incredible value to you, for you. Shine bright, superstars. That's why you're here. Hello and good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Today could be a massive game changer for you. We're going to learn how to shift resistance to abundance spiritually. And to do that, I've invited a very dear friend and valued member of my online community, Entrepreneurs Globally Unite. Hello and welcome to the show, Suzanne Goulet.
Thank you, Michelle. I'm so excited about this interview, and I'm so happy that we're connecting in this way. It's going to be fun.
Oh, it sure is. Folks, grab a pen and paper, turn off your zings and pings for 30 minutes, and please join us to set your intention to learn a new set of game-changing strategies to tune up your abundance frequency and learn abundance in the language of the universe. Let me tell you a little bit about this gorgeous gal. Suzanne Goulet is a life coach, a spiritual mentor, and distance energy healer. She's the creator of the live global energetic downloads and producer of the resulting energetic meditation CDs. She has a natural gift of being able to receive spiritual and transformative energies and guides individuals in strengthening their own connection to Source in order to shift, transform, and experience the empowerment that comes from co-creating their lives with a higher power. Her work includes private and individual coaching programs, home study audio courses, distance energy healing sessions, and energetic meditation CDs. Her clients experience healing, transformation, and step into their highest path in life, lifting them into truly fulfilling lives. Many have experienced being unburdened from past traumas, identifying and shifting non-supportive beliefs, and letting go of guilt and memory that no longer serves them. I have personally been blessed with working with Suzanne, and I completely 100% endorse her. Her integrity and genuine worth is immeasurable. So, Suzanne, please share with us what you do and how you do it. How do we shift a resistance to abundance spirituality?
Yes, well, thank you, Michelle, for that wonderful introduction. And in listening, I'm just really humbled. I'm humbled by this work that I've been sort of assigned to do. It is an assignment. It's an assignment from Spirit, and it comes as a natural outgrowth of my constant connection with Spirit since I was a little girl. I didn't know what that was. I just knew that when I wrote in my little diary at the time that I would receive answers and encouragement, and that dialogue kind of continued throughout my life and throughout many career choices, throughout many periods of growth, of moving from place to place, which was always spiritually guided. I've had careers in the film business, as a gemologist, even in real estate and in the stock market. And finally, I was encouraged to, okay, Suzanne, we're going to ask you to start extending this information that you have and start extending what I'll call a holy instant, which comes from A Course in Miracles. And I'm a student of A Course, for those who are familiar with that. I've been studying it for 22 years, and I'm now taking it to the next level, which is as a manual to extend miracles. It's called A Course in Miracles, and it comes from Christ. He was the author. It was received by this woman in New York for 7 years. She wrote down what she was hearing.
Wow.
what we have is the resulting A Course in Miracles. And Christ is teaching us how to extend miracles to each other. And that's the work that I'm doing. That's the work that I've been called to do. I tried to resist it for a long time, thinking it's like too out there. How do you make a living doing this? And so for really like 12 years, I did it for free, just grabbing people who I knew and say, come sit in my living room. And I'm going to do this weird thing called a holy instant. And I'm experimenting. Will you come and do it? And they said, sure, whatever. But little by little, I saw their lives change. I saw their lives change dramatically. And then the next step was to start doing this in group form. And then the next in my living room. And then the next step was to start doing it in classroom form for a series of weeks. And literally every person who has received these holy instants has had life changes that they couldn't even expect themselves. So now that has transferred into what I'm calling the live global energetic downloads. And those are events people can attend for free, and we'll talk about those at the end of the show. Yeah. But what happened was I saw a lot of people struggling around the issues of money. I see people struggling around the issues of health. Sometimes it's about relationships. Sometimes it's about their right livelihood. But I do see quite a few people struggling around the issue of money and how to create that abundance within first. And so I called on Spirit to find out, well, what can we do here? And perhaps I should offer a course on that. And so thus developed this course called Shifting Your Prosperity Consciousness. Now, I have to explain that I don't write this course. I don't even know what it's going to be. I never know, because I set up the schedule and I invite people to come. And then what happens is the material comes through me and the entire curriculum is set up by Spirit. So I know. So it's information that comes from above me, but through me to the recipients. And Spirit also knows who's going to be listening to this content long after the live participants are done with it. Yes. Right?
Right.
Because on the spiritual side, there's no time and there's no space. It's all source energy coming down and spreading among us. So what we ended up was 4 weeks of energetic downloads that assisted people in shifting their prosperity consciousness, because it is a consciousness.
It is. Yes, it is.
And it was so beautiful. So that's a course. And I can go into details, but let me know if you have any questions so far.
I don't have any questions so far, only to validify how we met, because I was at a very big crossroad and very, very broken when we met nearly 2 years ago. And if people are sitting there and listening to us and thinking this is woo-woo rubbish, then think again, people, because Suzanne was hugely instrumental in changing the energy in my life that has changed the results for my future. So please buckle in and listen up big, because this is the new way that our world is working, and Spirit wants us to do it with ease and joy and grace and not suffering.
Exactly. So you bring up something really important, Michelle, and maybe we can talk about this a little bit, because sometimes people are looking for the magic pill. And in a way, there can be a magic pill. But let me tell you what my experience is in working with people and all the different things that I see inside. Because when I do private sessions with people, we get on the phone, because it's all distance, and then I click into a higher place, which I can call my soul or with spirit, and then I click into their soul, and then I see what's going on. So obviously, there isn't one size fits all for everyone.
No.
There isn't the one magic pill that's going to work for everyone, because when I go into the soul level and I start seeing what's going on, it can be anything from, leftovers from a past life that there's come into this life to heal or to resolve. In fact, that's the purpose of this life. And they've gotten stuck because we really don't come into this world with the knowledge of the previous life or what to do. We're not given a roadmap, but we are given kind of simple tools, do unto others, come from your heart, forgive others. And really, it comes down to that. If you want to know a straight pathway to getting anywhere in your life, forgive everyone of everything all the time. Like all day long. Just keep forgiving whoever comes across your path, and you are going to see miracles unfold. Because Spirit is always bringing you an opportunity to expand. And the way to expand is to forgive the other person who has come across your path. I know that might not make sense to people, but whoever is coming across your path that irritates you for some reason or says something that triggers you, like, how did they know? And it could be a complete stranger in the grocery store. It's a reflection of your subconscious that you don't want to accept. So when you forgive that, you bring light to the situation and it completely opens it up.
Transforms.
Yes. So that's a Cliff Notes version of how to create miracles in your life. Now, when it comes to a healing session that I would do with an individual, there are so many different things that I see, and they're all completely different. It's like each person is a universe unto themselves. And so often when I go in there, I might see, like I said, past life things. I might see a trauma that occurred when they were younger, or in midlife it occurred, or I might see that they had a history of an addiction, or they had a history of being disempowered and staying in disempowerment.
Yeah.
So we root out those things, and I don't do it. A higher power comes and lifts and transforms those energies that are blocking them and holding them back. So does that make sense?
Well, it does to me because I've personally experienced it. And it is fair to say that there's a lot of things that we don't need to understand, and it doesn't need to make sense. We just have to have the belief and the faith that people gifted such as yourself are there to do that for us. And we can hold on to all of the past and it will continue to trouble and taunt us because we can't find a new future if we're continually looking in our past because it's not there.
No, the past is an illusion and it's gone.
Yeah.
And actually the future is a phantom as well.
Oh, can you explain that?
Everything you need to know is right now. Everything is present in this moment. You're never in the future and you're never in yesterday. Yes, we have shadows and we have memories. But if you want a clear, high connection to your soul and to that guidance and the love that it wants to give you, you'll find it in the now. That's why I strongly recommend your people to come to the Global Energetic Downloads, because we go into these deep meditations and I carry you through the process of being really, really present in the now. And once we're there, Spirit comes swooping in and delivers those frequencies that are going to release the past. And believe me, spirit is so excited and so anxious to deliver these energies to us. It's like they're on the other side there, kind of, come on, you guys, just be open to this love. Please, please, please receive this love. And there's almost an urgency about it because, we all know that the world is going through a lot of shifts and changes, right?
Right.
We are seeing so many changes happening so quickly. And those of us who are spiritually inclined signed up to be here during this time to be of assistance to all of humanity.
Sorry, Suzanne, may I just come back? Those of us that are spiritually inclined, aren't we all?
No.
No? Okay.
I believe that all humanity, all human beings are extensions of spirit. However, many are quite unconscious.
Yes.
And they haven't woken up yet.
Yes, I'm glad you said that because that's a really, really important place to receive. And to be perfectly honest, for anyone that is here listening to us, they are ready. They are here for this exact purpose.
Yes, exactly. Anyone who is listening to this now, anyone who has been brought to this, it's because your soul guided you here to listen. And you're most likely awake. If you're not awake, you're about to wake up.
Make sure you're nice and comfortable. It's a great ride.
And unfortunately, people usually wake up after a crisis.
Yes, that's very true. That's very
right?
true. Or several of them.
Usually it's the same. It's a similar crisis happening multiple times over and over again. In order for you to realize you're listening to the same recording, right?
Yeah, you're right. And there's a wonderful saying we use here down under, the same shit a different day.
I'm laughing, but it's not funny.
No, it's not.
But because it's extremely painful, and each of us will have our own patterns. Like I had a pattern of when I was small and what I needed to go through. I had a highly, highly authoritative father figure, and I was almost unable to speak at home. And then I got to college, and I was I went to film school, and I was almost unable to speak about my creativity in my film projects when I was called to speak in front of class. And because there was a highly, highly authoritative professor. And whenever I had a job, I had a highly, highly authoritative boss, male boss.
Yes.
So I kept seeing this happening over and over. Wherever I went, there was male authority that shut me down and shut me up. And my biggest points of growth were summoning the courage to speak my truth. And that wasn't attacking someone.
No.
And that's the fine art.
That is a perfect point, because our ego jumps in and it sets us up, that fight or flight response, which is a body habit and trigger.
Yes.
That's precisely when we need to look into our heart for our truth.
Yes, and sometimes you're not really feeling in your heart when you are being severely oppressed, right?
Right.
And so it's summoning all of that courage to be able to speak your boundaries. Hey, this isn't okay with me. This doesn't work for me. This isn't right. I'm, drawing a line in the sand and I'm walking out, or I'm quitting this job, or I'm getting out of this relationship, or whatever it is. So that's just a very small slice of an example of what your patterns are when you came into this world and what you were designed to grow through. Because my sense of personal empowerment now is so strong and full, nothing can touch it. And that didn't happen because I grew through one little step and then I was done. It can continue to come up for many, many years. But now I have the attitude like, bring it on, hon, bring it on. You just try to tell me what to do. And guess what? I don't attract that in my life at all. Why? Because it's been forgiven and it's been gone through and there's only love left.
Yeah.
And so that I own that personal power now. So I don't mean to press on my own story. What I want to ask people to do is to look at their own lives and their own repeated stories that continue to occur and ask themselves, what am I being called to grow through here?
Yes. And that is an incredibly valuable turning point. When people are willing to ask that question, they will grow.
The answer will come.
The answer will come, of course. It will. It will.
In fact, if I can, in fact, they already know the answer, and they're not willing to hear it. They don't want to do it because it's going to be the hardest thing that they have to do. And it's much easier to not have to do it, right? It's much easier to ignore it for a while. It feels easier. But if you're continuing to magnetize situations that really are riling you, no matter what it is, money, health, relationships, whatever it is in the world, this is something you were designed to actually grow through. And usually that point of pain is exactly what leads you to your most power. So that's my encouragement.
Wow, that is, I just had a massive aha moment then myself, thank you.
Do you care to share?
Sure, yes. It was just about I was looking back to the topic on how to shift a resistance to abundance. And abundance is not just money. It's joy, it's happiness, it's love, it's every form of abundance. And I just had a flash of where I am still pig-headed, butting up against that resistance. So I know what I'll be doing after we finished recording.
I don't know if I should apologize for that or say good girl or whatever.
Oh, look, it is what it is. I've been doing the work for years, and I will continue to do the work because I know that it's worth it and it's a whole lot better than where I've been. So it's it's the journey of a lifetime. It really is.
So why are you appreciative of the work, Michelle? What comes out of it?
Well, because I didn't like my life as it was. And I love it now. It's completely fun. It's magical. It's transformative. It's enjoyable. I meet people like yourself. Like, I hope the listeners on the call I get to meet to discuss their life and their changes and their triumphs. It's a beautiful, beautiful journey.
Yes, and I want to hold you up as an example of what happens when someone does the work and when someone takes the risk to work with an energy healer just like myself, because it collapses time. Instead of you taking the next 5 years to work on that stuff that was causing you to dislike your life at a time, you took the risk and you invested. And we did work together, and it just collapses time. That's what the miracle does. It collapses time so that you can get right to the point of being a light in the world and enjoying your life, making the right connections. All that dark crap is gone. Excuse my language, but, it's like a just big giant vacuum cleaner that comes in and takes care of all the old stuff, and then you get a clean, fresh slate, which allows you to create the life that you want.
I couldn't agree more, and I'd like to take some time, and a good chunk of time, to show people how we can help them what you've got various offerings, and I love that you have so many resources available for free, because let's face it, there are some people and times in life where we cannot, or we,
right.
Well, sometimes we can't. Mostly it's a choice, but let's explain that. So what are ways individuals can get started with you if they want private one-on-one to collapse this field, to really move in quantum leaps?
Okay. So there's a place on my website called, sessions, and under the sessions, they'll see options. There's a page that lists all the different options for doing private one-on-one energy work. And basically, they'll see the one to go directly to. You fill out a questionnaire, you email it to me, I have a look, and I actually, and this was taught to me by A Course in Miracles, I actually need to confer with Christ and ask permission if this is the right miracle to extend, because he actually says, I don't want you to extend miracles to everyone. You need to allow me to know where miracles get extended or not. So this is very interesting. But I've also been guided that usually anyone who goes through the process of finding my site, filling out an application, making the appointment, connecting with me, and we go through things, then we can book the appointment right away, and it takes about an hour. And what's included in there also is it's fully recorded. The beginning of it is me listening to what's going on, and I intuitively pick up on what is the work that is going to be required. And then I send the whole thing up to the Christ consciousness, which does the healing energy work. And then what's accompanied is I then can speak in a channeled manner about everything that was shifted and changed. Now, what's very interesting is, although I speak to a client before we go into the session and I get my own sense of what we're going to be doing, usually when I come out on the other side, it's an entirely different story that I hadn't even thought of. And then when they hear all the stuff I'm saying, they're saying, oh my God, that's why I have this relationship with my daughter. That's why I had this relationship with my ex. That's why I've been in these dead-end jobs for a while, and the answers are all there.
So who is this work appropriate for, Suzanne?
Those who are willing and believe.
Believe in themselves?
In miracles.
Yeah, thank you.
If you believe in miracles, the miracle is guaranteed.
Wow.
It's guaranteed.
Don't you just love this?
I do. It's so exciting. It's so exciting. How blessed are we? That's why I said I'm so honored to be able to do this work. The miracle being guaranteed are not my words, they're Christ's words. And he was also really clear that we're not to be extending miracles to people who are non-believers as a way of demonstrating. Like, this isn't a circus show, right?
No, right.
No, there are real people in real pain who need real miracles. And I have seen all kinds of things be completely eliminated. And it's not my choice. I don't say, okay, this person needs this kind of miracle. No, he has also taught me that miracles that you're trying to specify can be misguided. So let me give you an example.
Yeah, please do. That I lost a little then.
Let me give you an example. This woman came to me and said she had 3 or 4 sessions with me, and she was getting super excited because every time she came for a session, the whole world changed, and she was like, let's just do more. Like, oh, okay. So she said, I've been trying to lose weight for a while, so can we do a miracle that I lose weight? And I had to say, no, I can't put it in order like that.
Oh, really?
Not because I don't believe that it can happen, because it has happened with previous recipients that even in my group classes, one woman lost 25 pounds in about 2.5 months.
Wow.
So I don't know how many kilos that is, or I don't even know what you do in Australia. But
doesn't matter. Weight is weight anywhere in the world.
And she wasn't even trying. So I knew that this could occur, but it's not like you're at a restaurant and you're ordering something off the menu, because that's not the way miracles work. We do not know our own best interests. God knows our best interests, right? So actually what happened in that session, because I made it really clear, a miracle is guaranteed, but it may not be what you think is right for you. So when we got in there, I'm leaving this anonymous, but when we got in there, there was a trauma she had at a certain point in her life that caused her a tremendous amount of emotional pain, and she needed to shove it aside and not look at it anymore. And what happened was it caused overeating. And it caused an inability to, even though she started eating really well and exercising, she just reached a plateau and couldn't go any further. So she had homework after that session with clearing sessions and forgiveness of the parties involved and forgiveness of herself. And then I also intuited a couple of supplements that are going to be very helpful to her, because I'm up on natural medicine. And she did all those things, and she just reported to me yesterday that she's lost 12 pounds, and it's been about a month. I didn't plan this.
No, I'm
as astounded as she is. I'm like, really? And she said, yes. And she's all excited. And I need to make it clear, because I don't want a bunch of people coming to me saying I need to lose weight. Because this woman was really a strong believer, and she knew the miracles would come, and she was willing to do her homework, and she did her homework. She did the things that were asked to do. Yeah. She did deep forgiveness. She forgave herself. She got in touch with the trauma and realized she couldn't shove it under anymore. So there's a number of elements involved here. There
is, and I love that two things that have really struck a chord with me. And you speak of Christ consciousness and forgiveness. Isn't that what he gave us when he sent his son to die on the cross?
That's what he demonstrated.
That is what he demonstrated, yes. And that was forgiveness. And
the story of the crucifixion is a story of a resurrection. And for him to have suffered as much as he did prior to that, and still his last words were, forgive them, for they know not what they do. How many of us are there, after quite a lot of physical torture, and he had dedicated his entire life to demonstrating the power of spirit, the power of the kingdom of heaven, which is always there, which is where his power came from. And he said, all these things you shall do and more. Right?
Right.
That was those things. Those words struck me because I grew up Catholic and I went to church as a little girl, and they say that in Mass, they tell us the stories of the miracles. And then, part of the Mass is to say, all these things you shall do and more. And I remember the best part of going to church was listening to the Gospels, where there would be just one more story about, Jesus leading the fishermen to cast their nets, and they caught all of these fish. I mean, that's a story of abundance.
Yes.
That it's always available to us when we align ourselves. And so then the next week, there would be another story about the cripple being able to walk, or the blind man to see.
Yes.
And then he would, then the words came, all these things you shall do and more. Yes. So when I was little, like 4 or 5 years old, I was getting this and I was super excited about this. And I went to my mother and I said, well, when do we start doing our miracle? When do we start doing this? Because I want to do some.
You know what, Suzanne? We are clicking over 30 minutes since we...
No way!
Yes, way. So I'm going to have to invite you back. But what I would...
Oh, I'd love to.
I'd love to invite you to just come up with 3 super duper top tips for people that they can take away with them to think about, to start some wheels of change in motion.
Okay. All goodness comes from source, and source is love. Source is the power of love. And there is nothing that love cannot heal or change. So the reason I've called my company Spirit Source Connect is to encourage people to strengthen their connection to source. Mm-hmm. Because everyone will have their own set of circumstances, right? So I wrote a course called 3 Keys to a Greater Connection to Source. And we really have to get our connection to source going because all of the answers are there. Yeah. Everything you need to know is there. God will always guide you every step of every way, in every moment of every day, every second. If you're connected to source, you're always asking, okay, what next? What next? What do I do next? What next? So you're in this constant flow, and you're following. There I am with that authority figure, which I healed. So now, I just got that. So now I just listen, and it makes life really easy because you're always in flow, and miracles come. It's like you're just following direction. Yeah. So I encourage people to download, just go to my website, and when you put in your name and your email, you're going to get the free course. And it's the 3 Keys to a Greater Connection to Source. And I'll tell you right away, it's meditation, journaling, and doing your right livelihood. All connect you to source in a powerful way. Yeah. But those 3 hot tips are going to be immediately dismissed as too simple and too easy. Right? Yeah. So please download the course, put the earbuds in, and listen to it while you're vacuuming or feeding the cat, and you will be uplifted. It's wonderful. And there's workbooks for you to make sure you're doing it, and journal with spirit every day.
Wonderful, wonderful. People...
Is that helpful?
Oh, it's amazing. So may I just invite our audience that if their life is not where they'd like it to be, I'd like to remind you that it doesn't have to remain like this. You can't do it alone, or you can, but it will take you a lot longer. You can collapse this field and make it a lot easier by walking alongside someone that's, hey, you've got it, like, it's like a electricity socket straight up, isn't it?
Exactly.
It's insane. I love it.
In fact, you're never not connected. It's just that we shut it out because we get too engaged in this current world, and just step away from it a little bit, just a little.
Suzanne Goulet, may I thank you for your commitment and contribution to humanity, the lives you touch, and the manner of which you go about them with such authenticity and integrity. I am honoured to have you as a friend and as a guest on this beautiful show. Please, people, take the easy road and connect with someone, with Suzanne, someone that inspires you to take quantum leaps and bounds in your life.
Michelle, you are such a pleasure to connect with, to work with, and this is how we experience our own heaven on earth, connecting with the right people and uplifting many souls around us.
Thank you.
Thank you, dear.
That final word, I would love to bid everyone a wonderful, blessed day. And Suzanne, I will see you soon, my friend. And goodbye for now, everybody.
Aloha.
Bye. See you next week.
Bye-bye. Thank you.